Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard if you're brand new, welcome back if you're not, and welcome home if that fits for you. I'm glad to have you. Let's talk about what's up this week. We talk about astrology and a little bit of tarot messaging. This is the week of the 6th of November through the 12th of November, 2023. I know that we are coming out of the eclipse energy, right? And so many of us are integrating that cycle. Also, Saturn is now direct, and so there's quite a bit of energy that's available, a lot of karmic closure. So let's sift through what we're dealing with now in relation to those big shifts and changes that we've all just moved through. So on Monday the 6th, we start with the Leo moon. We're going to have a square to Mercury, a quincunx to Neptune, and then Venus in Virgo is going to trine Pluto. That moon in Leo is going to quincunx Pluto, and then the moon will move into Virgo. That Virgo moon is going to oppose Neptune, and then Mercury trines Neptune before the day is over. So right, a lot of, let's call it higher and lower octave energy when it comes to home, creation of your, let's call it your place, your choosing of what that sense of home feels like, right? And remember, when we talk about that, we're talking about what the sensation of home is for you, what that smells like, what it tastes like, what it feels like, what it sounds like, right? That sense that no one can tell you, only you can come up with that one, and it has to be self-reflexive. So Monday the 6th, this is a day to dream, but dream responsibly, right? The moon does move into Virgo. This is important. And Venus is also in Virgo. So by responsibly, what I mean is to make sure that you can create an action plan for those big dreams, right? Beautiful dreams have to be able to also be expressed clearly, right? And those visions have to become functional plans, right? So that form, the dream, has to become functional. And the idea must be able to become an expression. So just be mindful, right? Dream, but be able to really put your wheels on the ground as you're doing that. On Tuesday the 7th, the Virgo moon is going to trine Jupiter, sextile the sun, and quincunx Chiron. So Tuesday the 7th is a day of doing, right? Find every way to unite your expansion with sacredness, with reverence, with purpose, right? It's definitely a day to be telling your new story. The key here is to tell that new story in a very holy way, right? Completely sacred, fully reverent, right? So make sure that as you're creating, and as you're witnessing and allowing your expansion, that you do so with purpose. Wednesday the 8th, we have a Virgo moon, sextiling Mars, and then Venus moves into Libra at 3:30 in the morning Central Time. The Virgo moon is going to trine Uranus, and then Venus, now in Libra, is going to quincunx Saturn. That moon in Virgo will oppose Neptune. Mercury in Scorpio is going to sextile Pluto. The Scorpio sun will quincunx Chiron, and then the moon in Virgo will trine Pluto and sextile Mercury. So we have 5 weeks of Venus in Libra, right? So this is going to bring our hearts into really refined focus, right, where relationships are concerned. So some of the keys, maybe we'll do a video on this, right? But some of the keys are to be alert for any kind of self-denial or self-deception. the key here is no settling, right? When it comes to an expression or a manifestation or your boundaries, right? So be in claim of your well-deserved everything, right? And hold to your boundaries, and also important, hold to other people's boundaries as well. They are just as important as yours. And if your dually boundaried meeting in the middle doesn't meet in the middle, then that might be an indicator that you need to either attend to or release the relationship. So just pay attention as we move through the next 5 weeks, right? On Thursday the 9th, the moon moves into Libra very early in the morning. And then the moon will quincunx both Saturn and Jupiter and conjunct Venus. So Thursday the 9th is a day for deepening bonds, right? Focus on that sense of home, what it feels like, what it looks like, what it tastes like, what it smells like. And remind yourself as many times as it takes to allow your widest experience of home to always be guiding your actions and your creatings every single step of the way, right? Make sure that you're constantly coming back to that as your North Star, as your guiding light. On Friday the 10th, 25 minutes into the day, Central Time, Mercury moves into Sagittarius, right? And then later in the morning, Mercury in Sag is going to square Saturn. The Libra moon will oppose Chiron and quincunx Uranus. So on Friday, what do you believe? And more importantly, why do you believe it? Right? Is it something that you've been told? Is it something that you have chosen for yourself? And if it is something that you've chosen for yourself, the key here is going to be to sit with these questions, right? The answers may prove hard to come by. And here's the deal. The ones that pop in might be draped in, let's call them yesterday's veils, right? Making them even harder to discern. So just be present in your experience as you ask these questions, right? Allow the experience that you're having, especially with Mercury and Sagittarius, right, to inform your answers and your choices and your awarenesses. So if you don't come up with an immediate answer, just allow your body to guide you in the right direction and to bring you clarity in whatever time you're supposed to get that clarity, right? We're not pushing that clarity at all. On Saturday, 11/11, the Libra moon is going to quincunx Neptune and square Pluto before the moon moves into Scorpio around lunchtime. And then that Scorpio moon is going to trine Saturn. And then in the afternoon, Mars in Scorpio is going to oppose Uranus in Taurus. So Saturday is a day to be all in when it comes to your personal agency, right? So you definitely want to be in your own space. Another key is to watch your step, right? So the energy of the day is an energy of kind of jolts and bumps. The way to kind of circumvent that is to allow your mindful awareness to be your guider, right? Your guider, your guidance. Your mindful awareness may prevent you from unplanned consequences or even accidents, right? That Mars opposition to Uranus is about sudden jolts, right? Jarring things, seismic, tectonic kind of movement, right? In your world, in your energy. So be fully present Saturday. Really be mindful about where you're doing what and why and how and all those good things. Just definitely taking care, a day of caution. And then Sunday the 12th, the Scorpio moon is going to oppose Jupiter and quincunx Chiron. So it's a day to kick back, right? It's been, at that point, it will have been a week, right? A challenging week. and you'll need some time for integration, for rest, for restoration, for a little bit of reclamation of self and your own, let's call it present awareness. And as always, we'd like to make sure that we're choosing self-nurturing and self-care as opposed to any avoidant or addicted coping mechanisms, right? Tell your healed story, not the old story of your woundedness. It will make the difference in how you experience the day. So, yeah, no kidding. So there's a lot going on this week that has to do with the way you're in presence, right? The way that you're choosing your presence, the way you're telling your story. Oh, hello. Of your presence. And as such, the key is just to choose it, right? Be in conscious choice. And so any time or way that you have the opportunity to show up and respond, it is recommended that you do that, right? Let's talk. So on Monday, we've got the Chariot and the Page of Swords. So the Chariot is about balanced forward motion. The Page of Swords is about the ideas behind that, right? Balancing that love and logic, that head and heart. So we're talking about dreaming, right? I have a vision of where I'm going, but I want to make sure that I can create that action plan for those dreams. Those lovely visions have to have form and function, right? Chariot, we need to balance both sides. The idea must have an expression, right? These have to be in the process of becoming. We can't just have beautiful visions and beautiful dreams and then not put the action behind them, right? So this is the card of dreams and action. This is the card of love and logic, head and heart. And so each one is integral to the way that you're going to move. So make sure that that action plan includes all your steps, not just a brilliant thought, right? Thought is not enough. You've got to have the action behind it. On Tuesday, we have the World and the Knight of Pentacles, right? So this is really lovely energy. The World talking about completion, right? Integration, how we close one cycle and move into the next cycle. The Knight of Pentacles offers the way to do that in the most grounded, the most functional, the most efficient way, right? Slow and steady progress. Never failing to understand that we're always in dynamic motion. And so if this is that day to do, right, finding every way to unite your expansion with your sacredness, with your reverence, with your purpose, and tell that new story in the holiest way, right? Because as you move through these cycles, what is important is, in fact, your motion, right? Purposeful action. So just be aware of the way that you're moving, not only in presence, but in that highest and best way. So on the 8th, we have the 8 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords. Interesting, right? So we're talking about this as the day that Venus moves into Libra. Yeah. So we also have this as the day that the Sun quincunxes Chiron. So we're talking about mastery, right? Through what you do every day. This is the way that you devote yourself. And guess what? Sometimes we devote ourselves and we find out that things don't work, or that there's a challenge, right, within the cycle. We talked about this as also being alert for any self-denying tendencies, right? So as you devote yourself to whatever it is that you are devoting yourself to, right? This is Pentacles. So this is the way you're moving through the world, the way that you're structuring your life, the way that you're creating your reality. Are you bringing that old story in, right? The Sun quincunxing Chiron, paying attention to any old story that might be out of date, that might not be something that you want to bring into your present. And the key here is, whatever it is that you're going to devote yourself to, however you're going to dedicate yourself to creation of your now, needs to make sure that you've done this healing work and healed your losses, your betrayals, your heartaches. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that you're going to weave that in to your next phase, your next level, right? And we certainly don't want to do that. So devoting yourself to your healing, to that new story, is always going to be critical, necessary. Thursday the 9th, we've got the Lovers and Strength, right? So this is quite lovely, actually. So the Lovers is that divinely blessed sort of partnership, right? And we have the moon moving into Libra, and then conjuncting Venus, right? So the way that we are in relationship, right? We talk about this quite often. We have to do our work in private, right? We do our work in our hearts. We do our work in our souls, in our experience, in the way that we rewrite and heal our mental and emotional patterns, the way that we rethink and mindfully plan our behaviors. And the way that we do that is to go into our souls, our shadow work, right? And what does that take? Strength to balance that sense of home, what it is, what it feels like, right? The way that we're going to choose our guidance, right? The Lovers also represents choice. And so this is choosing how you're creating every step of your journey, of your path, right? Every single way that you deepen your relationship, whether that's with yourself or with another, right? You can't meet another any deeper than you've met yourself. So make sure that you are putting your work first and foremost, right? It's not enough to say, oh, so-and-so needs to X, Y, or Z. No, the answer is that you have to find the place where you're in agreement with whatever they need to be doing and do that work for yourself, or choose to step out of that relationship if it's not working for you. So just be mindful, right? You have to have the strength and conviction of your choices within each and every relationship, including the relationship with yourself, right? On Friday, November 10th, we've got the 10 of Cups and the 7 of Wands. So what are you willing to defend? What are you willing to do, to give up, to create, right? In order to get to this beautiful place of bliss and joy and satisfaction and contentment. What do you believe? And more importantly, why do you believe it, right? What are you defending? What are you standing behind? What are you holding in front of you, right? What are you creating as your block? What are you creating as your inspiration or motivation? Here's the deal. Making sure that you're sitting with those questions. What do you believe and why, right? Are you being present in your experience, right? Wands are this energy of fire. It's the inspiration. It's the devotion. It's the dedication. It's your passion. It's the juice of your life. And so if you're not in this place where you're saying yes, yes, yes to your life, what then are you allowing to inform your answers and choices and awarenesses? And are they in alignment with this, the most widest capacity of your aligned sense of all of those things, emotional, that bring you to that place where you're choosing joy, choosing bliss, choosing happiness? Are you standing behind things that aren't serving you? That's a question only you can answer, because you're the only person that can answer your questions when it comes to what this feels like for you. What is that experience? And as Mercury moves into Sagittarius, only you can define it, right? Through your experience. So make sure that you take the time to do that. On Saturday, the 11th, we've got the 4 of Pentacles and the Fool. Okay, so this is that day that we talked about being all in when it comes to your personal agency, to be fully present, right, and mind your step. Okay, so we've got the 4 of Pentacles, which is about how you let's call it how you conserve things, how you hold things. It can be how you hoard things. It can be the way that you store or stash things, right? And then the Fool is ultimate freedom, ultimate trust, right? So this is a dichotomy here as we have that Mars opposing Uranus, right? Are you going to be fully present in all of your doings, or are you going to hold back? The key is you can be cautious and still not hold back. You can be mindful and still be free, right? Those are not mutually exclusive. And the way that you choose to be willing to open to that next level of union is all about where your heart wants to be, right? Do you believe that you need to hold back, or do you believe that you are always fully resourced? Make sure that whichever you choose, you're always choosing your highest and best, your most faithful answer, right? On Sunday, we've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands, right? So let's have that conversation. This is about opportunity and the place where you're going to have to put something down, right? If we have an ace, and we know that aces are gifts from the universe, right? We have to open our hands. We have to grasp that ace and then put it into action. Well, guess what? The Nine of Wands says, I'm real tired of holding this line, right? I'm not getting any movement here. I feel stuck and I feel stagnant. And guess what? There's a difference between stillness and stagnation, right? Stagnation is I'm in refusal to move, right? And stillness means I'm assessing. So on Sunday, we talked about this as that day to kind of kick back and make sure that you're choosing self-nurturing as opposed to avoiding or giving into your addictions, right? Telling the healed story, the new story, not the same old, right? This story of your woundedness, and come on, look at this guy, right? He's been through it and he doesn't want it. Well, the universe is saying, hey, you've got an option here. Your option is to create this new opportunity, to accept this new opportunity, to say yes to the invitation. Or you can just keep standing there. You have choices. It's always your choice. So what story are you going to tell as the moon opposes Jupiter? Right? Are you going to fold back in on yourself? Are you going to allow your jadedness to to run the opportunity off? You might, but pay attention. Pay attention. Be in your nurturing self, right? So also we have this one. This is one of my favorites. We are in transition, right? And this is energy of transition, right? Coming out of this big eclipse cycle, we are definitely moving through a release. So what you're willing to let go of is absolutely in direct proportion to where you can go. And you're being invited to go a whole lot of places, right? You're being invited to go everywhere, right? Universally everywhere. And how you choose to get there is all about how you're going to choose to maintain your status quo or say yes to what comes next. We also have this very lovely oracle card, the Upper World. Let's see what the message here is, right? Okay, the Upper World. The essence of this card: angels, divine helpers, ancient ones, and all the varieties of luminous beings populate the upper world, right? We have so many majors here. So this is about divine messaging, right? This is about what the universe is asking and giving to you. This is the place where you go to retrieve your destiny and find out who you will become, discover your great potentials and undreamt of possibilities. It's also the place where the spirits of the dead arrive when they complete their journey to the light, coming out of the season of, of the Day of the Dead, where we honor those who have passed on, where we honor our veil being thinner than a little bit normal, right? Here's the deal. It's always thin. It's a veil, right? The discernment, the opacity is always there, but you can choose transparency, right? So the invitation is that the upper world is calling you to step into your fully realized self. Clear your distractions so that you can move into your higher destiny. Do not fall temptation to craft a slightly more improved version of yourself. What you perceive as a problem or as an obstacle is in fact the irritant that you need to take a great leap. Okay, hello. We have our irritants and we have our great leap. Are you paying attention? Remember that you cannot cross the Grand Canyon into small jumps. The medicine here is to ask your divine helpers for guidance. If the oracle has already spoken to you, do not ask for more guidance. Take what's been offered. Now you must deal with the lethargy and idleness, right? While support for your new destiny might not yet be in place, the new destination is available to you if you act now. So we talked about this. We talked about how the answers may seem a little bit clouded as of yet, right? But it's about your faith. It's about your willingness to be in presence and release anything that's not here and now, to make your choices based on the work that you're doing, not on your old unhealed stories, right? But on the new things that are coming, not what you're holding on to. This is a transition. Does it feel scary? Certainly. Certainly it could, if that's the way you choose it. But we've got that beautiful Mars-Uranus opposition. And here's the thing. Uranus always brings change. And the way that you approach that change is that it can feel scary or it can feel exhilarating, right? It can feel like something brand new, right? Something where you're making the choice to move into that integrated state, right? Where you're trusting the balance of relationships as that moon is in Libra and we have this lover's energy, right? You're healing yourself so that every relationship in your life, yours with yourself being the most primary, gives you the opportunity to be fully present in a new way that will bring you, right, to that next level. So allow your transitions, guys. It's beautiful. Be grateful. Be blessed. Take care.